I'm just running a test message. Want to, as some of you all may know, we got a conference coming up tomorrow, and so just doing running a couple tests here to see, make sure everything is working. But definitely want to add some value as I'm just getting some things tuned up. Just want to add some value. Let me see. I'm super excited to invite you to the very first Vision Clarity One Day Clarity Conference. That's right, on Sunday, February 6th at 9 a.m., I'm bringing together some friends of mine who are on a mission to help you move from confusion to clarity. This conference is designed for anyone, everyone who does not have clarity around their life. Now, I'm not talking about you don't know what job you're working, and I'm not talking about you don't know why you're going to school, but I'm talking about your mission, your personal mission, your personal call, the personal vision that you have for your life, which transcends your profession, your job, where you live. Your personal mission and vision should carry you throughout your entire life. And if you don't know what your call is, if you don't know what your vision is, if you don't have clarity around the mission that God has for you in your life, then this conference is for you. I'm bringing together a host of dynamic Pro Bowl coaches who are coming and delivering free content to you and want to just add value to your life. We have Leilani Langdon and Benjamin Lundquist and Nikki Belima Bogingo and Frederick Bussey, who have spent years leading and coaching and speaking in to individuals, helping them discover God's great vision for their life, helping them overcome fear, helping them overcome trauma, helping them overcome the barriers and the setbacks that have been keeping them back. And I'm bringing them to you on Sunday, February 6th. You're not going to want to miss this. I want you to set a reminder on your phone. Take it out. Tell Siri to set a reminder for you. I want you to email this video to a few of your friends and family members who you know they're living a good life, but they might not be living a clear life. Like they may be in a relationship, but that relationship really doesn't have clarity. They're not quite sure where they're going or how they're going to move. This conference is for them. You don't want to miss it. So listen, you don't got to register. You don't got to sign up. All you got to do is show up, and I'll see you there. Yo, so we in it. Hope you can hear me. Just want to make sure that you guys can, that you know about the conference that's happening tomorrow. I'm super excited about it. It's been a long time coming, something that God put in my spirit to do a while ago. And so we're going to be rocking with it tomorrow. Today, I did want to just add some value to you real quick. Now, what I want to just talk about briefly is honestly something that if you've read the book Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, this is his concept, but I think it just adds a lot of value to who we are as individuals and how we kind of move from where we are into understanding our calling, understanding what God has put on our heart, and just really stepping into our greatness. So let me pull up the whiteboard. We're gonna go to the whiteboard. We're going to go back to the whiteboard. Let me find it here. So let's go back to the whiteboard. And basically what Gay Hendricks says is that there are more or less, there are 4 zones that you and I live in, right? That you and I work through, right? He would describe these 4 zones something like this. That's an ugly, yeah. So he would describe these 4 zones like this. And the first zone that you and I, he would say that we work in is, let me make that a little bit smaller. The first zone is a zone of incompetence, right? That's the first zone, the zone of incompetence. And in this zone of incompetence, he would say that if you're working in this zone of incompetence, if you work here, then you are basically doing something that you really don't know how to do. It's like you're in a job and it's beyond your capacity, your ability to actually function in this job, right? Like you're not good at this job, you're not skilled in this job, like you're just kind of going through the motions. It's something that not too many people stay in this zone of incompetence where, if let's say you've never worked on cars and that you decide to go and take a job as a mechanic and you have no idea what you're doing, like that would be like your zone of incompetence, right? Not many people work there. A lot of people, though, we are not in the zone of incompetence, but we come over here to the zone of competence, right? And so the zone of competence, if you're working here, this is a space where you are operating and you're working something, but it really doesn't require a lot of energy or effort for you to work in this space. This could be you working at a grocery store and bagging groceries. This could be you being an Uber driver or a Lyft driver. You can do it, but it doesn't really require a lot from you to do it. It's just something that you're doing, right? You're kind of going through the motions. I've had jobs like this. I worked at Popeye's Chicken back when I was in high school. I was working the cash register. It didn't really require a lot from me to work this job. It was just something that I did, something that I was focused on, just taking people's money, giving them orders. I could do it. It was fine, but it really added no value to me. It added no life to me. It added no energy to me. It was just something that I did, right? I would be interested to know how many of you all right now are doing work in this competent zone where you're going through the motions and you're doing something, you know how to do it, but it's not really anything that gets you excited, that adds a lot of value to you. If this is you, I would love for you to just let me know, put it in the chat, like, yeah, I'm either there currently or I've been there in the past. Would love to know. The other zone that he talks about is this zone of, he calls it the zone of excellence. And this zone of excellence, if you're doing work here in this zone of excellence, if this is where you are in this zone of excellence, this is work that is highly skilled work, and it's work that really not everyone can do. So, right, this might be you went to school to become a teacher, and you've learned the skills and the tools to be able to teach at a high level, and you're teaching at a high level. This might be you've gone to school to be a lawyer or a doctor, or you have some type of professional degree that requires some level of skill. Maybe you're a social worker or an engineer or whatever it is, but you have some professional skill, maybe even some trade that you've learned over time, and you're working in this job, and it provides some level of professional fulfillment. It provides some level of personal fulfillment. But, it's just something that you're doing, right? And to be honest, it's something that you could really probably do for the rest of your life. You went to school for it. You might even have student loans that reflect the fact that you are doing this thing right here. It is the zone of excellence. For me, when I was a pastor, pastoring for 15 years, this is where I was, right? This was me, in this zone of excellence where I was doing the work, but it really wasn't adding a whole lot of personal, like me coming away feeling like, man, I love what I do. Like I was doing it and I enjoyed it, and there were definitely high moments. I loved connecting with people. I loved preaching the word, but I still felt like it's something I can do, and I definitely could do it for the rest of my life. But it's not that last zone, right? It's not that last zone, and that's what he calls this last zone is what he calls the zone of genius. This is the zone of genius. In this zone, what he calls is when you're in flow state, right? Now, flow state is where you are just doing work and it feels like it is effortless. You're doing this job and it feels as though you are just really in the zone, and it is just like hands down, like time flies by and you don't even know you're working. This zone of genius is where I believe all of us should be, right? This zone of genius is where all of us should spend our time working to get to this zone of genius. Now, the reality is that many of us fall short of the zone of genius because we have landed in the zone of excellence. We got a good job, we got good benefits, we got a good retirement, we got, good some level of professional fulfillment. We feel as though, like, man, I've worked hard to get into this job. You're going through the job. You might give it a 8 out of 10 stars, 7.5, 8 out of 10 stars. As far as how much you enjoy your job, you might enjoy your team, but it still takes a lot from you, right? At the end of the day, you're not tired because you come away feeling like supercharged and super fulfilled. You're tired because you realize, I just worked for 8 hours, or I just worked for 12 hours. Like I'm still having to put in work, and it is still exhausting. Well, the idea from this zone of genius is that, you may be tired from working in this space, but this tiredness that you experience, it isn't an exhaustion from depletion. It's almost like, I love what I do. This zone of genius is where you really feel like you are winning at life. Like, I am doing what I love. Now, mind you, you could be working for an organization, you could be working for a corporation, you could be working for, some type of institution and still be in your zone of genius. So for some of you all, you might be a teacher or a nurse or a physician or a lawyer or some type of trade, and you just love what you do, right? You might say, man, I love taking care of kids. It brings me life. The time flies by, right? I love being a preschool teacher. Yeah, the kids are loud, but I just love it. Like, that might be you. And if that's the case, then I would say that you are operating in your zone of genius. But if that's not you, right? And if you're not coming away feeling charged and excited, then it might be an indicator that you're not operating in your zone of genius, but you're operating in a zone of excellence. And for many of us, there's nothing wrong with being in this zone of excellence. All I would say is that don't settle for excellence when genius is possible. Like, don't settle for excellence when you could actually move towards this flow state and experience just the joy of doing something that you love. And not just doing something that you love, but doing something that you love that adds so much value to the world around you. And in doing it, you are, you experience or you receive financial value back because of your gift that you're blessing other people with. People are blessing you financially. They're blessing you in many respects. And you just feel like, man, I love what I do. I believe that all of us, regardless of who you are, where you're from, your age, you could be 17 or 70. I think all of us should love what we do. I believe that God has called all of us into this zone of genius. And I don't want anyone to settle for anything less than what God has called you into, right? So I'm sharing this with you today because tomorrow, Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, I'm going to be coming together with friends of mine, and we're going to be talking about how you can discover your zone of genius, how you can step into like your great calling. What is the dream that God has for you in your zone of genius? And I want to invite you, if you're watching this live or maybe you're watching the archive, I want to invite you to tune in tomorrow, Sunday, February 6th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to really discover how can I move my life from, definitely if I'm here, I want to move from here almost like this. Like, I want to move from incompetence to competence to excellence to I want to step into this zone of genius. So I want to invite you to come on. It's going to be dynamic. It's going to be life-changing. I really believe it's going to add so much value to you, and you're really not going to want to miss it. I had to make the hard decision to step into my zone of genius. And even though I'm here, I still feel the pull to go back to this zone of excellence and to just do something that I know I'm good at, as opposed to really stepping out there and falling in love with the work that I'm doing and just, risking it all. God has called us. I believe he's called all of us to operate in this zone of genius. I want to help you get there. So I just wanted to jump on real quick and share this model with you. If it's added any value, just put it in the comments. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a like. Let me know it's added value to you. And I hope to see you tomorrow at our conference. It's going to be phenomenal. You're not going to miss it. I think it's going to add so much value to you. So listen, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'm super excited to invite you to the very first Vision Clarity One Day Clarity Conference. That's right, on Sunday, February 6th at 9 a.m., I'm bringing together some friends of mine who are on a mission to help you move from confusion to clarity. This conference is designed for anyone, everyone who does not have clarity around their life. Now, I'm not talking about you don't know what job you're working, and I'm not talking about you don't know why you're going to school, but I'm talking about your mission, your personal mission, your personal call, the personal vision that you have for your life, which transcends your profession, your job, where you live. Your personal mission and vision should carry you throughout your entire life. And if you don't know what your call is, if you don't know what your vision is, if you don't have clarity around the mission that God has for you in your life, then this conference is for you. I'm bringing together a host of dynamic Pro Bowl coaches who are coming and delivering free content to you and want to just add value to your life. We have Leilani Langdon and Benjamin Lundquist and Nikki Belima Bogingo and Frederick Bussey, who have spent years leading and coaching and speaking in to individuals, helping them discover God's great vision for their life, helping them overcome fear, helping them overcome trauma, helping them overcome the barriers and the setbacks that have been keeping them back. And I'm bringing them to you on Sunday, February 6th. You're not going to want to miss this. I want you to set a reminder on your phone. Take it out. Tell Siri to set a reminder for you. I want you to email this video to a few of your friends and family members who you know they're living a good life, but they might not be living a clear life. Like they may be in a relationship, but that relationship really doesn't have clarity. They're not quite sure where they're going or how they're going to move. This conference is for them. You don't want to miss it. So listen, you don't got to register. You don't got to sign up. All you got to do is show up, and I'll see you there.